Why? Anything eating away at your soul?
Her writing is bad. Don't people know the difference between good and bad?
She's cute. There are different standards for cute people.
You mean no standards?
Right.
Isn't there any time when how you look doesn't affect how you're judged?
When you donate an organ, unless it's your eyes.
Hello, all you beautiful beings. Seems like just yesterday I was responding to Shoe0nHead and her bitching and moaning over a Vox article. I prefaced that video with a statement about how Shoe, or June, as I will call her for the rest of this video, is often defended, even by some of my fellow leftists, with arguments about how she's one of the nice anti-SJWs. Yeah, well, that's a crock. Firstly, being the nice one doesn't hold a lot of water when you're part of a trend of people who spout racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, ableist, and politically illiterate rhetoric for money. Secondly, I don't believe in giving grown adults a gold star for being able to basically act decent toward another human being when it suits them. Thirdly, I find this particular defense coupled with claims that she's somehow a different person than she was in, say, 2016 or before. But in reality, no. No, she isn't. The woman has not changed a goddamn bit. She's still as rude, callous, and apathetically uninformed as she's ever been. As was evidenced when I came across this gem. Buckle in, kids.
You ever just log on and then wish you could go back in time? Back when the only website you used to use was homestarrunner.com, you didn't have a care in the world? Because same.
Thin privilege. Now, it's not a mythical creature or something made up. If you're thin, you have a certain privilege. So everyday tasks that a thinner person can take for granted. They can leave a plus-size person like myself feel full of anxiety, burden, and upset.
You. Why is the music so loud?
So, public transport.
You know no one's making you watch this video, right? You're doing that of your own volition. Seriously, can this trope just die? I can hear her just fine. Jeez, and your fans complain about my sound quality in my previous response to you. Heh.
So, public transport. What a nightmare for plus-size people. Just think, can you sit in a seat and not be met with sighs?
I can. But you know who apparently can't? Men. There's this thing called manspreading. If you haven't heard about it before, let me trade lives with you.
Grabbing something to eat. Just...
You serious?
Oh no. People are being asked not to take up more space on public transportation than they need. How terrible. Yeah, and people are expected to give up front seats to disabled people, elders, pregnant people, and people with one or more small children in tow. Welcome to living in a world with other human beings. That's hardly comparable to the fact that fat people get judged and treated like freaks in a sideshow just by our mere existence.
To eat. Just think, can you pop into a bakery, pick up a donut, and sit there and then enjoy it?
Maybe if you want that thin privilege, you could start by not eating a donut, maybe? Or maybe a smaller donut?
Listen here, you little shit. I go to a college with a food court filled with fast food places in the student union. Panda Express, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, the works. There are people here, people thinner than I am, who eat that shit 3 meals a day. Let us have our fucking donuts without concern trolling. Moving on.
Shopping. Can you go into 99.9% of the high street and shop, try on, and take an outfit away that very same day and not actually being able to go and enjoy the experience of shopping?
Oh no, it can't be! Is that the consequences of my actions?
You are fired from breathing! Please, pack up your desk and kindly leave live!
Oh, Phoenix, why were you so mean to Shoe? She's one of the nice. This woman is about as nice as a bag of nickels to your crotch.
You can go to a plus-size store or the plus-size section if you need plus-size clothes.
Going to the doctors.
Yeah, not everyone has access to a Torrid or a Lane Bryant, nor are their prices all that accessible, and a lot of fat people feel really self-conscious about trying on clothes in stores because of people like you. There's also the issue of finding clothes that actually look good in our sizes, but that's a topic for another day.
Going to the doctors. Are you able to go and be seen and diagnose what is actually wrong with you, or the appointment turned into a weigh-in session? And to be honest, I actually avoid going to the doctors now.
Please do not do that. Please go to the doctor if you are feeling sick. Oh my god!
Yeah, thanks for the tip. Maybe let her get to the point.
Because someone's smaller, just in the same way as someone's bigger, there's no way that you could diagnose someone's health just by looking at them.
My mom is a diabetic, and my dad had heart surgery in his 40s. They are both relatively thin people. And since doing YouTube full-time, the only thing I ever work out is my fingers furiously debunking the wage gap 300 times.
And yet you're still very bad at it.
If I don't fix my lifestyle, I will probably die in the next 20 years. Honestly, not fast enough! So she's absolutely right that
Possibly. See my previous comment about some of my fellow students living on cheap Chinese takeout and burgers.
So she's absolutely right that you can't tell what's wrong with somebody just by looking at them. But a doctor can. Doctors don't just fucking look and diagnose you. And yes, your weight could be what's causing the problem. Being anorexic comes with serious health issues. So does being obese.
That's a rather asinine comment considering that anorexia is an actual disease with many detrimental effects. And the trouble here is that, well, our interactions with the doctor often like this.
Doc, I think I have the flu. Well, maybe you should lose weight. Doc, my leg is broken. Have you tried this diet? Doc, help me, I've been impaled. Listen, let me give you some information about weight loss surgery. I apologize for that.
Basically, a lot of fat people go to the doctor with some health concern, and it's attributed automatically to our weight. That's a dangerous occurrence. I can link to some cases below.
I can put a picture up on Instagram and I'm listed with everything that's wrong with me. Of course, none of it is true because nothing's wrong with me. You wouldn't go up to a thin person or comment on pictures listing off all the health problems that they may or may not have. Yet again, another privilege.
Whatever post those were posted on, clearly you were spouting similar rhetoric to what you're spouting in this video.
And you know this because... Oh right, you don't. I get fat-shaming comments all over my channel and on Twitter just for my horrible crime of being a visible fat woman. No one, no matter how much you imagine they're screwing up their lives, deserves this kind of treatment. It's unfair and dangerous. I can remember the first time I worried about becoming fat. I was 9. This shit affects literal children.
That's not an excuse for people just mocking you.
Yeah, thanks again for the tip. Get to the big butt. Shut up.
But they're clearly responses to things you're saying. There's this belief that, like, obese people just need tough love in order to lose weight, and that's not true. That could actually make them eat more and make them more depressed and make it just worse. What they do need is inspiration, positive motivation, and a diet or exercise plan that works for them and that they enjoy.
Before you roll your eyes at the idea.
You know, June dear, if people want advice about weight loss, they can seek it themselves. Not everyone cares about weight loss. Not everyone has that as a priority. Personally, I have priorities. Doing well in my classes this semester and not being homeless come summer. Maybe getting an emotional support dog. But I do my best to live in the moment as well, so I'll eat healthy. And still have pizza pockets sometimes. I'll go to a body combat class in the rec center on campus. and still play The Sims for 3 hours on a Friday night sometimes. I'll bring along healthy snacks like fruit or almonds to have in between classes, and sometimes I'll have junk food on a movie night in the LGBT Equity Center. Life's too short, man.
Before you roll your eyes at the idea of thin privilege, just try putting yourself in someone else's shoes and just looking at it from their point of view, how it could affect them or how it could make them feel. I'm not having a go at thin people at all, but just simply acknowledging there is the privilege.
The only privilege that exists is class privilege, the household that you grew up in my opinion. You can
Someone could have the opinion that vaccines cause cancer and that chemicals are bad. They're also complete knobs for believing those things. To put it bluntly, your opinion is shit. I've talked about this in other videos, so I won't go too long. Of course class privilege exists, but A, it's not the only privilege, and B, class privilege doesn't cancel out other privileges or systemic oppression. A rich black athlete can still have his home tagged with racist graffiti. A middle-class white woman can still be talked over in her workplace.
disagree, but everyone who disagrees with me is wrong. There are people who are naturally thin and naturally chubby. Yes, genetics do play a factor into this. But the majority of thin people you see are taking active steps and making conscious efforts to maintain that lifestyle, to maintain that weight. They're probably on a diet, they probably go to the gym.
Yeah, again, I'm gonna call bullshit. I'm a vegan of 9 years, go to a huge university that requires buttloads of walking each day to get from point A to point B, and I look like this. My younger brother lives on junk food and doesn't do much physical exercise, and he's a rail. We're not the only two who are like that. I feel like I say this a lot, but while it's okay not to know things, it's not okay to make shit up just to sound more correct. It's irresponsible. Stop doing it.
So it's not really a privilege if being overweight is fixable, if being thin is something you need to work on.
Yeah, tell that to people with PCOS, which legitimately makes weight loss harder to achieve and harder to maintain. That's not the only condition that does that, but it's an example.
White privilege, which doesn't exist, but if it did, black people can't just change their race, but fat people can lose weight. It's entirely possible for you to get these privileges.
What was that? A wink to your fash pal Lauren Southern and all her acolytes? Again, you can say white privilege isn't real until you're blue in the face, but you're still wrong.
Here's a comment I saw in reply to this video. As someone who 1 year ago was over 300 pounds and is now at 200, hell yeah, life is easier. Yes, I get less looks from people. Guess what? I earned that. I earned it because I realized being that big was not good, and I went out and took control of my life. You are in control. So,
okay, in all honesty, the person who made that comment can go fuck themselves. Just totally. It is not the job of fat people to earn the right to not be treated like freaks or failures. Fuck that person, and June, fuck you for agreeing with them. That's bullshit. So, ultimately, there's not much more to June's video. She cuddles her her pet bunny, promotes her Discord server and her Patreon, and the video ends. This is why I get so annoyed when people talk about June like she's changed so much. She knows TERFs exist, but she's otherwise the exact same privileged, politically illiterate numbskull she's always been. I didn't make this video attempting to change her mind, but as always, I can educate the rest of you. If you leave with anything, let it be this. Just don't be a dick to people because of how they look. Just don't do it. That's all for this video, and as always, peace, love, and stay hydrated. If you'll excuse me, there are some Sugar Shack vegan donuts with your girl's name on them. Have a good one!